Mic'd up.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, all 8 of you out there in Yankee fanland. Welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast with your hosts, me, Adam Schneider, Michael Miller, and his twin brother from Jersey, Rich Miller. So
He's
good
my
to have you back, Rich.
twin brother from another mother, or as I called him, Brother Richard. And if you saw the back of his head, you'd see that he does wear a friar-type cap, although that's just a bald spot.
And for those of you
Anyhow,
wondering, this is my car set tonight. We are not at home, for those of you who do not know and don't care. But I will be leaving the show momentarily to go to
thank
my
God.
office. So for them,
Ratings will go up.
Ratings will go up and all the intelligence will come out.
All right, so here we go. What is going on today? So we got my brother Richard on with me and Adam this week. For those of you listening live, which I guess if you're listening, you're alive. You might not be dead, although this might kill you. Please use the microphone app or the microphone at the bottom of the app page and leave as many 30-second messages as you would like regarding anything you want about Yankee baseball or baseball itself, and we may play it. However, the topics for this week for us, as usual, are This Week in Yankee Baseball. Our prime topic will be umpiring. Is it really that bad? What do we think? What do you think? And of course, what do the stats say? As we pulled some stats to get ready for this stuff. And then if anybody wants to call in with some trivia to stump the chumps, any trivia question you have, I'm sure we'll get it wrong. Although last week we had a very good week. This week I don't anticipate us doing well. First of all, I don't see any questions, so we can't get any wrong. Nope.
So we have three chumps today. So please.
3 chumps, 3 chimps. It's all the same stuff. What's a chump? What's a chimp? So let's start with our This Week in Yankee Baseball. Mr. Adams, since you're about to leave us, what do you want to comment on the Yankee offense first off?
Well, I think it's been very disappointing. It's been a bad week in many levels, except for 2 15-run games. They stopped hitting again, but the one thing I want to talk about is the continuing and painful decline of Giancarlo Stanton, who does not look like a professional baseball player. He looks like a fantasy camp guy who cannot run. He can't do anything anymore. His bat speed is down. He can't hit the hard fastball inside, which he swings at all the time, and he continues to have a problem with anything away. So yeah, that's my big concern is what are they going to do with this guy? He's just he's a hole in the batting order, and he fills the spot that they really need, which is that rested designated hitter. So that's my concern.
So Rich, so just on Stanton, he's 4 for his last 21, which includes the 2 15-run games. He's 0 for his last 9 in the Orioles series, and he's got for the season a 31% strikeout rate.
Which is down. No, I'm sorry. That's not right. Judge is down. So yeah, his strikeout rate is horrendous, and he's hitting ground balls more than usual, and it's just he looks terrible all the way
Rich,
around.
what do you got on the Yankees offense? What do you want to start with?
On the Yankees offense, it's just all of it. It's just how bad it is. I mean, they brought in this new hitting coach and was supposed to be this new savior, bring in this new attitude, not just the old statistical, let's hit it as high and far and as fast as we can. And it's just been a major disappointment. And, our second baseman is just, he's just a bigger hole than Stanton. And he plays the field, so he takes up 2 holes. So
that sounds like a bad date. Anyhow,
He did hit a home run today.
Yes, he did.
Finally,
and that would be a home run in all the ballparks.
Yes, that was pretty funny with the ballpark stuff. So I will say this before I get to the team stats. I will say this. Aside from Soto, obviously, the wake-up hitters of the week were both Wells and Trevino. Combined, 13 for 34.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 13 for 35 because Trevino made out at the last at bat today. Pinch hitting for Wells, which has me a little bit worried because he got hit in the face with 3 foul balls today. But Trevino is 6 for his last 16, and Wells is 7 for his last 18. So the catchers are participating in the offense. So what else you got on the offense while Adam transfers over to his in-house studio?
I'm just curious. Yeah, I gave Verdugo, however you pronounce his name, continues to hit.
He didn't hit today.
Well, is he back or is he
Yeah,
still
he didn't
on?
hit today.
He didn't hit today. What are they going to do when the kid comes back? Are they going to leave the kid in the minor leagues?
Well, I have to think about that till July, so I wouldn't worry about it yet.
Oh, that's a good question. I was thinking about Grisham though. Is he the first? Is he not long for the world?
He's not. No, when that kid comes back, he's gone.
Grisham played all 4 games in Baltimore and went 1 for 15.
Him strike out, but I heard he was looking a lot again, which is a bad sign.
Yeah, he came with the reputation of a guy who takes a lot of pitches. So
right. So did Verdugo, but he at least puts it in play.
Yep. So your man Torres, by the way, although he was not hitting in the Baltimore series until today, he was 7 for his last 22, and then he hit his homer. But he was 0 for 8 in the Baltimore series before the homer. And then the other thing is the Yankees are at the record pace. The all-time record is 174 double plays hit into in a season. The Yankees have 38 of them right now. They are blowing through that number if this pace keeps up.
Yes, by far. Are they the lead league or are they at least
by 7? By 7 double plays. They are way out in front. They're at a world's record pace. I think they break the Japanese record.
It's between Judge and Stanton.
Well, Verdugo's hitting into double plays as well. Rizzo's hitting into everybody's hitting into them. I mean, 38 double plays takes a lot of participation. Adam, mute yourself while you're juggling your newspapers or whatever it is. So as far as the Yankees offense and team stats, they are still 4th in the league in on-base percentage at .333. They're 2nd in homers, which is surprising. They're 8th in runs, which is misleading because they seem to also lead the league in time shut out, 1 time less than the White Sox, 2nd worst in the league. And they lead the league in games where they score more than 5 runs. So they're really 2 runs or less, or 15 or 5 or more is all they do. Their strikeout rate is at 20%, and their walk rate is still the best in baseball. So who knows? It's just a struggle. What do you got on the pitching, Mr. Richard?
On the pitching, I don't know how they're going to keep up this pace with the pen. It's just more and more 5 innings. If you're lucky, 6. I mean, we had somebody go 7+ or 8 the other day, but they're just going to keep blowing through this pen. And all these kids are, they're going to be great early in the season, but the end of the season is going to be ugly. And then if they get lucky enough to clean this up and stay towards the top of the division, they get to the postseason, the pen's not going to have any arms left.
Well, I think that this week they seem to stretch out the pitchers a little bit to closer to 100 or more than 100 pitches. Now, granted, Schmidt and Heel got there in the 6th inning or the 7th inning, but that's still better than what they were doing. Schmidt can't seem to get through the 3rd time in the batting order ever. Even if he's at 15 pitches, he can't get through the 3rd time through the order. But Cortez and Rodon have been going, 100 pitches. And quite frankly, until Michael Kay opened his fat mouth today and said how good Rodon looked, he looked great again today, but then he lost it. Of course, it didn't help that Torres made that stupid fielding play, but that goes without saying. But, Stroman has been going to 100 pitches. Cortez has been great. And Rodon has been going towards 100 pitches. And Hill and Schmidt are getting there. But I do agree with you. The bullpen is being stretched. Ian Hamilton's had a tough stretch here after being really good. Marinaccio is clearly not what he was a couple of years ago. He's struggling a little bit. Gonzalez is up and down. We'll see what happens. How much longer they can trust Weaver? He seems to be the guy, and for some strange reasons, Home has found his strikeout pitching again all of a sudden.
Yeah, and not just that. Home.
Oh, he looked great the other day.
Wow. I mean, and there's a great thing I saw on TikTok. somebody did an overlay of one at bat, the one he struck somebody out 3 times on, and it was just.
Oh, yeah, that was yesterday. It was
That was
amazing.
yesterday.
I
Yeah, he was
mean,
great yesterday.
just the dynamic stuff. The movement of the pitches. It's just
Yeah, I
incredible.
mean, he threw a sinker, he threw a fastball, and he threw a curveball or a slider, whatever it is. 1, 2, 3. Bye bye to you.
Yeah, the only thing he didn't get was the double play to make his life easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what can you do now? Defense. Defense has been not as good as you hoped. I mean, Volpe's dumb error in the 1-0 game allowed it to be 2-0. But if they're not going to score, they're not going to win. And Torres, every game he does something stupid. Today, they had no chance at a double play, yet he decided he was going to barehand the flip throw from Volpe for no reason. Unbelievable. The man has either the lowest baseball IQ, or he's the laziest player in baseball, or he's just plain stupid. I just don't understand. I mean, and Joe Girardi all week with his hitting. Well, his hip is opening up. How many times have I said that? Not just on this show, but all of last season. He flies open. Everybody can see he's flying open. It's ridiculous.
He had zero baseball sense. It's like his base running last year. It's just he's now changing it since he's not on base. He's just taking it in the field with him now, and it's just terrible to watch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
We'll have him as a discount next year. The
You're
Yankees
not going to have him as a discount because he's going to make at least $19 million because the Yanks have to make the qualifying offer.
That's true. So it'll be somebody else's problem.
Well, the Yanks are going to make the qualifying offer because they're not going to let him walk away for nothing. He's going to pull a Bellinger and take the qualifying offer and stay for 1 year.
Clog it up.
So, Adam, you should mute when you're going to take away your camera because you're still banging around there.
Oh, I
There
prefer
he
not
goes.
to think of that.
What else? Well, maybe he's finally putting his pants on because he doesn't like to wear pants. What else you got about this week in Yankee baseball, Adam?
He's still on mute.
He sounds really good when he's on mute. You sound your best when you're on mute.
I thought heel was eel. Gil, how do you say it?
Heel, like Heel.
Heel.
But
I thought he was about as good as I've ever seen. Certainly the best I've ever seen him. He didn't strike out that many guys, but they're a tough team. That is the thing I'm going to take away from this week is just what a great team those guys are. I mean, they are solid in every position. They don't seem to have everybody back. Their injuries are there. They don't have their closer. They lost the second closer. So I'm more impressed with them than I'm worried about the Yankees.
They didn't lose their second closer. They just didn't use Kimbrel against the Yankees.
No, but he's hurt.
No, he was ready to go. He was ready to go.
Was he?
Yeah, which is funny because I would love for the Yankees to play the Orioles in a playoff game and have Kimbrel be the closer because him and Kenley Jansen can't be worse closers in playoff games.
Oh my God! Right.
So they are pretty freaking good, and they're pretty young. They're everything. There's everything good about the Orioles. They're a lot like the 17 Yankees, or actually more like the 18 Yankees, because the 17 Yankees were ahead of schedule, like the Orioles were last year, and this makes them the 18 Yankees. And they had to send Jackson Holiday down because he wasn't performing.
1 for 35, but I have a feeling he'll be back. What do you think?
Yeah, eventually. And then Ryan O'Hearn came from the Angels, and all of a sudden he could hit because he's in Baltimore.
Yeah,
he was terrible last year for the Angels.
That's right.
He was a top prospect, and he stunk. And the Angels walked away from him. So the Yankees, and as far as managing goes and things like that, other than letting the pitchers go a little longer, which I think they did this week, there's not much Boone can do if they're not going to hit. I mean, you can't say Boone was good or bad. I don't think he had an impact.
Why are they not hitting?
Why? It's not that they're not hitting. It's that they're hitting one day or 2 days and then not hitting for 2 days. And then they're hitting for 2 days and not hitting for 3 days.
The last two pitchers in the prior series, the ERA of their starting pitchers were like 9. So once they hit the good pitching, it's just like the playoffs for the last 19 years. They hit the playoffs, they get good pitching against them, and they look terrible.
I was just thinking that as soon as you said that sentence. Was
That's a great point.
it
It's a great point. But the
yeah.
problem with it is, that you can't keep doing the same thing and thinking it's going to get better. You have to come up with a new model, a new approach, which is why I'm happy about the walks. But it still seems that it's very, very heavy in Judge, and it's the number 2 and the 3 zone. I don't see the
This,
rest of them walking more than they usually are. It's
Well,
still it's Soto and Judge walking, and that's it. That's the difference. It's funny you're hearing people say stuff. It's like it's like the Soto plus the 23 Yankees. It's like they're the same 23 Yankees, just with Soto on their back, on his back, or the Yankees on his
well,
back.
well, with regard to walks, it's a little bit more than Judge and Soto. I mean, Soto has 26 walks and 19 strikeouts, and Judge has 23 walks and 39 strikeouts. But they've also got Verdugo's got 15 walks, Volpe's got 14, Wells has 12, and Wells only has 65 plate appearances. His walk rate's incredible. And then, believe it
What's
or
his on
not,
base?
Gleyber is on base. He's hitting 196 with a 338 on base percentage.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Pretty amazing.
granted, it sounds very Joey Gallo like, but that's a different story.
Joey Gallo wishes he had that.
Joey Gallo wishes he was hitting 196. That's for sure. He went on the IL for the Nationals. And then there's your boy Stanton, who's got 9 walks and 112 plate appearances, 35 strikeouts.
Mm.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
I
what
mean,
point do they just cut the bait with Stanton?
I don't know. What's amazing to me is as many walks as Gleyber has with 11. He's still got 33 strikeouts, but his on base percentage is still only 289. He's the only everyday player besides Stanton that has a below 300 on base. I mean, granted, Oswaldo's is right at 300, but Soto's at 429, Judge 331, 358 for Verdugo, 348 for Volpe, 313 for Rizzo, which is low, and 338 for Wells. And Trevino's is at 339. So their on base percentages, except for Stanton and Torres, are all 300 or better, which means, you get 3 out of 10 guys on base, and the team is 333. The slugging is awful as a team, too. It's not good.
What's Volpe done since like the 3rd week?
Not much. And he stopped running as well.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be batting leadoff. I think your brother Toad said it best last week. He shouldn't be batting leadoff. Even
No.
Toad said that Torres would be better as a leadoff guy because it puts Volpe back behind those other hitters with men on base. They have to throw him strikes, and he's got to swing. But yeah, Volpe hasn't been hitting much lately either. I mean,
What
he's
about
down
Verdugo?
to
Verdugo at opening up.
yeah, Volpe's down to 262. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
that's not very good.
No, I was thinking Verdugo leading off.
They like Verdugo a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see that happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind against lefties seeing a lineup of Torres leading off, Soto second, Judge third, and then against righties have Verdugo lead off, Judge second, and Soto third, just to give a lineup where there's against a lefty, Torres is much better than against a righty, and Verdugo it doesn't really matter, but let him bat lead off on those days. And then today, Verdugo comes back after batting cleanup and doing a great job in the 15-run games, and he bats him 6th. That I have to question Boone about. Why was Verdugo dropped in the batting order? Was it because he didn't play for 3 days?
Yes.
That's
That's
just
probably it.
stupid.
That's probably it.
It's just stupid. But what can you do? What can you do? Anything else Yankee this week in Yankee baseball you guys want to talk about?
No, man, I think I'm glad that they're close. They're still, what are they, 20 and 12, 20 and 13?
20 and 13.
I mean, it's still a great start. It isn't 10 and 2, so you do the math and see with it been an under 500 team, so things aren't going so well in the last half of the season. But the way you look at it is that they haven't played their best baseball. Pitching staff
Well,
is still considered
Well, they
strong.
played their best. I disagree. They played their best baseball the first 12 games of the year.
Yeah, but I still don't think I've seen them really dominate. I really don't. I don't think because you haven't seen Soto, Judge and Stanton hit 4 home runs in one game.
We've
That's
never
what
seen
you'd
Stan.
love to see that.
We're not going to see
But I
Stan.
want to answer your question before you mentioned Stanton before. When do they cut bait? I think this is it. I think this year he hits 160 again, strikes out 200 times. You're going to start seeing him sitting a lot, especially when the kid comes back. Because if they get back Martian, they're gonna want to put Judge is going to need that DH spot a lot more than he has it now, and they're not gonna waste it, and they're not gonna put that kid on the bench unless they send him down to the minors to start. Let's just say he goes down there and hits 300 and comes right back. That's a maybe. He might have a hard time. He may need some more development time down there, but I
I
don't think they're
think
going
they're
to
going
sit
to
on
put
him.
him. I think they're going to bring him back, put him on a rehab assignment, which I think you're allowed to go on a 10-day rehab or whatever it is. And then they'll decide if he's hitting, they'll bring him back. If he's not hitting, they won't bring him back. But at this pace right now, the odd man out has got to be Grisham before Stanton even. One, it'll cost less money to boot Grisham out of there.
Right, but you boot him, but then who else are you sitting now? Because you're sitting Verdugo?
No, you're sitting Stanton. You're rotating 5 guys. You're rotating 5 guys in 4 slots. You're rotating, like it's sort of like what they're doing now, but not really. They're rotating 4 guys in 4 slots. But you rotate if Dominguez comes back. It's Dominguez, Verdugo, Soto, Judge, and Stanton. And Soto never sits, so Soto's not in any rotation. So you got 4 guys for 3 slots, and Judge is going to play almost every game. So that really means 3 guys for 2 slots.
Right, but you're putting Martian in left.
Martian or Verdugo going to be in center. Dominguez or Verdugo.
Well,
will be
when Judge is the DH, they're the center, but Judge is not DH.
Judge is in center still. Judge is in center as long as Soto's on the team. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
Although if Dominguez comes back, he's supposed to be a great fielder.
Right.
Let him play center field to move Judge to left. I mean, Judge played left the other day when Grisham played center. So I don't think it makes a difference to Judge.
That's what you do.
So, I mean, they're a game out. They're 20-13. The Orioles are 20-11. I do have to get in a shameless plug. My employer is only 2.5 games out of first place. The Oakland A's.
That's very good. Impressive.
Are they just the A's?
Very impressive.
Are they still Oakland?
Yes,
Oakland?
they're still Oakland. They're still Oakland. They haven't signed anything in Sacramento or Vegas. And this week they put out and hired a firm in Nevada to try and help them raise $500 million to help pay for their stadium.
Wow.
But there's no paperwork signed in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, at least as far as the public has been. They tell the public, which is I'm the public. At 17, like I said, say $17.14 an hour. I'm not privy to anything. But my understanding, based on the articles in the local,
you got to work at McDonald's. You get paid $20 an hour.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't know what's going on there, but they've been paying more than $20 an hour at the fast food joints in the San Francisco Bay Area for a long time already. So this, all these prices that people are saying that they raised, if they raise them here in the Bay Area, it's BS because Chick-fil-A came in and said, and In-N-Out Burger came in and said they're going to pay $21 an hour starting. So they've been paying not just 20, but more than 20 at those 2 places. And that forced McDonald's, Burger King, and everybody else to pay that much.
So when the A's leave, are you going over to McDonald's or
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A?
No, I'm hoping to get some employment with the Oakland Ballers from the Pioneer League. It's an independent league. So I'll start applying for jobs there. A couple of us in the A's box office have been kidding around with some of the job descriptions they put out there. Like they put out a job description the other day for somebody who's going to be an usher. And one of the descriptions of the characteristics is you have to be familiar with Oakland, the history of baseball in Oakland, and the history of the Oakland Ballers. They have no history, so it's a very funny description.
Mm.
So, but it is what it is. I did apply for a job to be their official scorer as well as a scoreboard operator today,
Mm-hmm.
just for stuff and giggles, as they say.
Son
I
can get you
decided
a
to
job.
apply for that.
Not
So,
bad.
yeah.
And
Why don't
how
get you a
about
job
that?
at the Sharks?
What was that?
Have his son get him a job at the Sharks.
My son doesn't work for the Sharks. My son works as for a newspaper. It's not like
But
he's not like Trump. He doesn't
he
control the newspaper. The Sharks don't control the newspaper. My
right,
son works for the Hockey News, an independent entity.
right. But he used to be the kid who used to sweep the ice and pick up the
I
hockey
can
ball.
get that job on my own, sweeping the ice, but I'm afraid that I haven't skated in about a year and a half, so I don't think I can do that. And, if my arm is shot, like I've been telling you guys, I have surgery, I won't be able to use the shovel. Be very sad. Maybe they'll let me squeegee the glass.
That would be more painful like that.
Yes, squeegee the glass like you have to do in a shower when you have hard water.
Drive the Zamboni.
Well, that I would like to do.
That would be fun. I've always
All
wanted
right.
to drive that thing.
Well, Michelle's ridden on a Zamboni, as is my friend Rad. And Max drives a
We have-
Zamboni at the rink where he works because
Now,
he's a
pull it?
supervisor there. So, all right. You guys, anything
Do
else
we
on the
wanna
Yankees
do
before we
this
get to the
first?
topic of the day?
We have some questions from people. We have
Well, we don't have
do we-
anything about Yankees that's out there. We have umpire questions and some trivia now. So let's
oh
get to the topic of the day. It has its own theme song. You ready? So that's the theme song for today's topic.
Mike, did you play that? Was that you?
Yes, you didn't see me playing that with my fingers on my keyboard?
Were you tickling the ivies there?
I was thinking about taking out one of my kids' old recorders and playing that, but I didn't do it. We could have had live music today.
What a great story. That is really impressive.
So
Thank you for having
before
me.
we get started with today's topic on the umpires, I want to remind you again.
Michael used to tickle the ivories when he was a kid.
Yes, I still know how to play Beethoven's Ninth, I think. Anyhow.
It's the Pfeiffer.
Mr. Pfeiffer. Anyhow, the reminding you once again, if you have any questions, comments, or trivia that you want to send us, use the microphone on the bottom of the app and leave us as many 30-second comments as you want about umpiring, Yankee baseball, and of course the Stump to Chumps trivia, which one of these days maybe we'll make a contest when we make the big bucks.
Frank tried.
But what we're going to get to also is remind you that we're not the only show here on the Mic'd Up app. You've got the Rick Barry Show. Rick Barry, NBA Hall of Famer, Golden State Warriors legend. Why they don't say New York Nets legend, I don't know. That's where he played first. But he's on the NBA 75th anniversary team. Him and his sidekick, Cyrus Satz, they bring Rick's fiery personality. Don't disagree with him. He's a fun guy to talk to, and it's fun to listen to his comments on your comments. His Hall of Fame conversation show, his Rick Barry show airs about every other week here on the show. The other show that's every other week is the Jim Darby Show. He's a former Easton sports executive and author. He has a book called Bears in the Bigs, featuring Cal Bears players who've reached the major leagues. And he also gives insights into his 40 years working in the sporting goods industry. And last, and certainly least, our friends from the Highlights from Lowlifes. They live at Crossroads. They live at the crossroads. They live at the crossroads of sports and current events,
and insanity,
and constantly will amuse you with their top 5 lists. And at least they're drinking heavily, hopefully, on every show. That is the Highlights from Lowlifes.
That's the
Last
only
night they were on
explanation.
live from the Stockton Ports Single A Stadium.
That was
So
great,
as we get to this topic, I want to go through a couple of things before we get there. Ready? Did anybody ever wonder how you become a major league umpire? What the basic requirements are? You have to be 18. You have to have 20/20 vision. Doesn't say whether or not that could be with corrective lenses or not. You have to have a healthy body and athletic mobility. I have to question that one.
Go West.
Strong communication skills, Hunter Winkelstadt, and a clean driving record. Why? I don't know. All right. So how do you start the journey? You go to umpiring school, and then you get to the minors, and you spend a lot of time in the minor leagues. Rich and I have a cousin, Bob Willman, who was a minor league umpire for years and years and years and years. Actually, the year that the umpires went on strike, he refused to cross the picket line. And because he refused to cross the picket line, they never, ever brought him up, even though he was a highly rated, highly senior minor league AAA umpire, because he refused to cross the picket line.
I don't understand. He refused, and they didn't bring him up. I would think it would be the scabs.
No, Major League Baseball decided. Major League Baseball decided that because he would not cross the picket line, they would not call him up. Major League Baseball gets to decide who gets called up from the minors, not the umpires.
Wow. So the players blacklisted the guys who
no, not the players.
And,
not
no,
the players.
saying,
Major League Baseball. Major League
I'm
Baseball. And the umpires, the scabs stayed. If you remember, what was the name of that one umpire everybody hated and wouldn't talk to? He was really bad. I don't remember what his name was.
I think the umpire that was bad, was it
there was one.
Buckley? C.G. Buckley?
No, he's still there.
No, still around.
He's still around, and he's not a scab. It is
Nestor Shylock?
Was it Shylock? Maybe it was Shylock.
No, it was not.
Nestor Shylock? How about Lucchese? Who's the guy?
No, it's crazy? Not him either. I'm looking it up.
Deegan, Major Deegan. Dugan. There was a guy Dugan. I remember Deegan.
No, it was not him either. I forgot his name, but there was rumors about. There was rumors about his lifestyle choices that the umpires.
You're right there. Oh, you're on mute. What the hell is that?
I don't know, Adam. Did you fall off?
I fell off my chair. Heavens to Betsy. All right. So anyway, but I was.
So that's how you become a major league umpire.
The players. There were.
No, John Sherlock was a scab.
John Sherlock and Darryl Cousins were scabs.
And Fred Spen.
Two replacement umpires, according to Wikipedia, two replacement umpires, Major League after the '99 labor suit, which led to decertification. Blah 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 blah. Both remaining replacement umpires were granted membership into the Hirschpack-led organization. John Sherlock and Darryl Cousins.
Yeah, but there was a guy who was non-union. I don't know we can not worry about it.
Yeah.
But he was really hated.
So and then among the players who played, there was a downside. Did Spencer, who was the Yankee guy?
Shane Spencer was blackballed by Tom Mattingly.
All right, so he was blackballed, but they were able to play, but they weren't entered in the union. Is that right? So they can't get benefits. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they didn't get benefits, and if I recall, in '95, I think he didn't get his share of the playoff cut.
Wow, I mean that's pretty intense.
Well, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't know Shane Spencer was a non-union player. He seems to get along with all the players when we see him at camp. So, and he seems like a good guy. So anyhow, that's how you become a major league umpire. Now, how do they evaluate major league umpires? That's the other question. They are graded on every pitch they call. There are stats, which I've pulled, and we can use them when we need them, that show the correctness of each pitch that each umpire calls. There is an auditor that reviews each game. However, when the auditor does do his work, he uses a custom strike zone for each batter so that it goes from the hollow of the back of the knee to the top of the belt. But he also gives each umpire 2 inches on either side of home plate. So instead of having a 17-inch home plate, they have a 21-inch home plate, as it's okay. So that doesn't make sense. But the reason that the evaluation process is set up the way it is because That's what the collective bargaining agreement says.
Mm.
So that's it. And do you want to know one other thing that people want to know is how much the major league umpires make? Do you guys want to know how much major league umpires make?
Isn't starting salary around like $150?
I'm sorry, salary is $150, and they can make up to $250,000. And their per diem is $340 a day. But they don't have they don't have to pay for hotel. They get first class flying, and they get meals at the stadium on games. They get a meal before and after each game. Well, so what's the per diem for? Tips and food. It's supposed to be for.
Right.
That's a good question.
So I don't know exactly why they get. By the way, the players only get $117 in per diem.
Hookers.
Well, per diem, $117 is what the players get, and the players get less than that if they know that they're going to get 3 meals at the stadium.
What on earth? Well, how do they negotiate that badly? That seems to me one that they would be working on.
You know what? Really, how much more money do you need than $117 a day if you don't have to pay for anything?
Well, they need 300. What do they need 300 for?
340.
Some fat umpire who.
Hey, they can't be fat.
Deal?
I told you they can't be fat. It says in the rules.
Singles. It comes in singles for the strip clubs.
Well, they stopped. Remember when that guy dropped dead on the field? Jim Gregg or something. Greg. There was an umpire who died.
Classic. Yeah, he was not. He didn't drop dead.
He weighed like seven.
No, he had a heart attack.
7,000 pounds.
Yeah,
it was unreal, and he lost like 6,000.
Joe West was there forever.
Joe West.
Hey, listen, you have to have a healthy body and athletic mobility. It says so right in the collective bargaining agreement.
Joe West was a former professional wrestler, so.
Yes, that makes him a good athlete.
How about the guy on our 55 team? We only have one umpire, and this poor guy, he's like way behind home plate. There's a plate 120 feet away. He's supposed to also see when guys drop the ball in center field 250 feet away. I'm like, good God.
You guys have only one umpire?
Well, wait, I haven't been to a regular season game. We only have one umpire during the regular season.
One umpire.
That's terrible. Even my dopey league has 2 umpires.
Well, you know what? Not only do you have 2 umpires, we only have one. We only have 2 fields for 5 teams. There's always one. We're always fighting for a field. It's terrible. There's always one team.
But you only need 2 fields. You only need 2 fields for 5 teams because that means there's 2 games.
Yeah, but then there's also there's a bye every week. But what bothers me is that they don't give fields. Every team should have their own home field. It's just it would be nice.
We play 90% of our games on the one field. So
is it the field that I played on?
Yeah.
I actually don't think that was that for a dirt infield. That was not a bad field. You just need to drag it. It really just needs to be dragged.
Nobody wants to drag it. So
we drag our fields even when we don't have a cart. We drag our fields manually. 2 guys take the drag, or a guy and a girl take the drag, and they do a lap, and then the next person takes it, and then the next person takes it.
You do the YMCA.
If there's music.
Speaking of drag. So
that was the party I went to last week.
Yeah.
All right. So onward and upward. So Major League umpires, by the way, I take it back. They can make up to $400,000 a year.
I'm going to say $100,000 because you have these guys for 18 years. They got to be making more than that.
They're making $400,000. The average salary is $235,000.
So there are a couple of umpires that I'd love to talk about, though. Part of the umpire problem isn't just that they're bad and they don't call a good game. They also tend to take over the game in a way that I think is bad. Trying to upstage the players, and you just can't do that. Guys like like Angel Hernandez is world renowned for overplaying his hand, so to speak. So I have a quick shot here of some of his greatest moments. So do you mind if I show that to you guys?
No, go right ahead.
By the way, he's actually at the highest allowable salary for an umpire.
Really? So let's just see some of Angel Hernandez's worst calls.
Oh, you got to get the sound on.
2-1. And 2-2. You have
That's the one I was looking for. He struck out that guy on 3 pitches, and not a single one was a strike.
Let's watch it again.
2-1. 2-2. You have got to be kidding me.
All right, so I've got another one for you guys that I want you to see. Let me get this set up for you guys. I'll have it set up in a second. This is one in the Yankee game just the other day.
Oh yeah, this one.
I got to get it to play, of course.
Do you have the volume with it?
Yeah.
Henderson coming off a leadoff home run yesterday and an 0-2 hold quickly. Cortez drops the arm angle. Here you go. CB Buckner strike zone, full effect. You kind of wonder how bad he's going to be, and he's shown us already in the first inning.
Gotta love Nelly.
Well,
Nelly just loves him.
Wait, let it play.
That's Jim Palmer.
Shouldn't be umpiring, and he is. They know it.
That's not. Oh, you got the Oriole feed. Let's see that again.
When I couldn't get people out, I became a broadcaster. So CB will be joining us in the booth tomorrow.
Very funny.
So Palmer, that's Jim Palmer going off. And the best part was his partner in crime was, remember the guy that the Orioles got suspended last year because he read a press release and they suspended him because the press release was not the nicest thing, but it was an Orioles press release. That was his partner that day. So Palmer, before the game started, he actually went off on CB Buckner. And then Buckner did that, and he just was like, he shouldn't be allowed to umpire. When I couldn't get guys out, they told me I had to become a broadcaster. And then the best line from his partner, CB Buckner will be joining us in the booth tomorrow. So I pulled stats from 2022, 2023, and so far this season. I will say this to you. Last season, Angel Hernandez.
Not the worst.
Couldn't have been. He only umpired 10 games behind the plate. He missed most of the season with a back injury.
Oh, that's right.
Do you think that's real, or
I don't care. So
was it his test because he lost a lawsuit?
Well, let me ask you a question. On the strike and ball calls, what do you think is the worst percentage umpire that there is in any one given year?
88%.
Adam?
I am without speech. I don't know. I don't have a number.
All right. So in 2022, the worst umpire had 92% accuracy, and it's a minimum of 15 games behind the plate. 2023, same umpire, 92.5%. 2024, same umpire, 91.6%. What umpire do you think was rated the worst umpire 3 straight years?
It's either Buckner or Diaz.
Buckner. CB Buckner, 3 years running so far this season.
I have a question. How long that Major League Baseball is in bed with all these gambling sites? How long before they try and hold these umpires accountable because of the impacts they have on the game?
Well, how many of the umpires are friends with Ohtani's interpreter?
That's true. That's true, because that's a whole other conversation where maybe Ohtani didn't do anything, but they gave the gamblers information. So it's the same thing.
The gamblers know which umpires are bad. I mean,
right. No, but it's like the same thing. Do you ever see that documentary on the NBA ref?
Yeah.
Right, and he's like, I never threw a game, but I gave them information that's going to impact the game.
What information can a referee give? What information can a referee give other than I'm going to call the game this way and this is how the fouls are going to work?
Well, I'm going to call it against this guy quite often, not on purpose, just because I don't like this guy.
Right. Well, I mean, I they had the umpire who was selling the memorabilia.
Yeah.
Right. So they have umpires who are allowed to get memorabilia, but they have to donate it to charity or to their charitable foundation. Yes. And then you have the umpire who was selling it and he got fired.
Right.
So looking at the stats, okay, just so you know, in 2023, the second worst umpire was at 92.6, and that is our friend Hunter Wendelstadt, who is the third worst umpire so far this year. Your buddy
And
Laz
he's the one who
Diaz,
didn't Hunter
he's the
do
one
that
that tossed
ridiculous
Boone.
thing
He tossed
for
Boone.
the
So,
fan?
yeah, Laz Diaz was the fifth worst umpire in 2022 and the fifth worst umpire in 2023. In 2024, I didn't look up Laz, but he's not in the top 5. Let me
What's up?
see if I can find him. Let's see if I could find our friend Laz Diaz.
Umpire rating.
I got it. I have the spreadsheet up. So Laz is actually doing okay this year. Right now he's at 92.7. So he's toward the bottom, but he's better. He's not in the top 5. I will say this to you. Do you want Angels numbers over the last 3 years?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2022, Angel was at 93.5, which wouldn't have put him even in the top 10 worst. Last year, he was at 92%, but he only did 10 games, which would have made him the worst umpire. And this year, so far, he's at 93%, which again puts him near the top 10, but he's not the worst umpire behind the plate, despite calling pitches 6 inches outside, which, by the way, later on in that same broadcast, they said was because the kid was a rookie, and he must have looked at CB Buckner the wrong way. Angel might have looked at him the wrong way. Oh, no, that was Buckner. Sorry. Buckner looked at it. He must have looked at Buckner the wrong way, and Buckner gave him the rookie initiation calls.
Yes, which is ridiculous.
I think that's the thing that bothers me the most. That there seems to be retaliation, and that they're, and I understand, egos get into it, but you know what? This is, these guys are entertaining. When you throw somebody out of the game,
No,
I
Ron
was
Luciano.
watching somebody. What was that?
Ron Luciano was entertaining. None of these umpires are entertaining.
Luciano. That's right. Luciano's one I was thinking of before. But these guys, they make these calls, and sometimes very early in very important games too. So when a guy gets thrown out of the game for throwing at somebody the first time without a warning, in the first inning, someone gets bumped for throwing. It's just, people spend a lot of money to come see these guys play, and there's not a single person that gives a rat's tushy about some umpire and his feelings. So it's we have a new Mermelschwanz, a member of the Mermelschwanz family.
Your brother. Brother of Emerson.
So let's play Jebediah von Mermelschwanz's comment. Here we go, Jebediah.
Jebediah von Mermelschwanz here, estranged brother of Ezra. As children, we did love watching Ron Luciano. He was the one umpire that always put on a show, and I can't imagine any other umpire today having that kind of sense of humor and the willingness to be part of the game in the way that Luciano was.
Well, couldn't agree more.
Good point.
Jebediah, I think that's your West
Rob?
Coast cousin. That's your West Coast cousin, isn't it, Jebediah?
Well, I think he was a member of the Western tribe, the Catholics in our family. Not to make religious questions, but Jebediah was definitely a little bit of an outcast, but we knew him well, and I'll definitely tell Ezra that Jebediah is now a friend of the show. Wow, an FOS.
Yes. So, hey,
Well.
we got another comment from Rob Weber. He's got Max Scherzer's comments on here, and he wants us to comment on. So why don't we listen to this?
Hey, guys. I'm wondering if you saw Max Scherzer's comments from about a week ago. He thought umpires should be graded on their balls and strikes calling, and the bottom 10% should get demoted. I like this idea because the real culprits are maybe one or two guys like Angel Hernandez and CB Buckner, maybe a couple more. What do you think?
I like the idea, and what's really funny is the umpires have agreed to this auditor system, and the grades are all over the internet. I mean, it's publicly available information now. And what's scary is Angel Hernandez doesn't fall into the top 10%. in the 2 seasons. If you go by the top 10% with certain number of games played, games umpired, he falls slightly outside the top 10% worst. But CB Buckner is repeatedly the worst. A good umpire is one that you really don't notice, right? Isn't that what the whole story is? Is the umpire, if you don't have any questions about the umpiring, that means the umpire did a good job. Isn't that what that's what Dad taught us growing up, right? If you don't notice the umpire, that means you did something right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're gonna get
great point.
Yeah, if you don't notice the umpire, but you're gonna with the kid umpires, the younger or less experienced umpires, you're gonna get the grizzled veteran manager or players who are gonna get in their faces to get the calls in their way, which is the opposite. I mean, you read the books on the Weavers and the Martin, and all they did is if it was a kid umpire, they would be in their face trying to get the calls, trying to influence the umpire that way. So it just yes, they need to be held accountable. 10% would be a lot to demote. But you got to look at it the other way, that you're going to get the players and the managers in the faces of these kids coming up, trying to influence it that way and make the calls in their favor to the extent that they can.
yeah, but they're not going to be able to make the calls in their favor because they know if they miss 10%, they're not going to be able to in the bottom 10.
Right.
So, I mean, if you think about it, 10%, if you figure there's 16 games a day, right? And there's 4 umpires. Well, there's 5 umpires because they take vacations. Remember, they used to not do that. So 16 times 5 is 90. So 10% would be 9 umpires every year getting relegated, so to speak. Of course, you'd be dropping their salaries from whatever they're making at the major league level to a $40,000 a year
minor league
level. And that's a problem. You can't do that. I mean, even as bad as an umpire is, you can't take away, 75% of his salary on the guy. And I don't know what you do. I would rather them just fire the guys.
Right.
If you're in the bottom 10% for a 3 consecutive year stretch or 4 out of 6 years, you're out.
Yep.
That's what I think they should do.
I mean, it should be. It should be a merit system, but it's a union, so
Right.
I'm sure they have rules about it.
Well, the way to get around it is obvious to me, and I've been pushing for this forever. As long as they've had the technology, they could build it stronger. They can make him faster, better than he was before, like Steve Austin. Is the robo ump? So there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways that the robo ump has been implemented at the minor league level. One way is that every pitch is called by the robo ump. The umpire gets a signal behind the plate, whether it's a strike or a ball, and then makes the call. And it's instantaneous. The other way that they do it is an appeal process. Each batter gets one robo challenge per at bat, and the defensive team the catcher gets 3 challenges a game.
Even if he's wrong? Well, I mean, even if he's
I don't know
right?
what happens if he gets a bonus if he's right. So the funny thing is it's supposed to be instantaneous, the way it works. I have a video of a robo challenge, and it wasn't exactly instantaneous, but it was overturned. And this is how the process works. I want to show it. This is the challenge system.
Uh-oh, here we go. First challenge. Catcher challenging the call of ball, and now we look at the scoreboard. They usually show it. I don't know if they'll do that here. No video on the scoreboard. Waiting. This is a challenge. I mean, you have a man on third base. You have opportunity to flip the count from 2-1 to 1-2. Let's listen. I don't know that they. I thought you were going to say something. Here we go. Ah, it's a strike.
Wow, look at that.
So they lose that one set. They've got 2 more. That's the ABF challenge system. It's supposed to be quicker.
You do 2
Not
more.
against
The catcher challenge, you have 2 more. So there's no bonus.
No, it sounds like it. So, but it's supposed to be instantaneous. It looks a lot like what we see on TV, even though we know the box that we see on TV is not correct. But it was too slow. You can't have it be that slow. If it's instantaneous, I think I particularly don't like the challenge system for balls and strikes. It's just I want to get it right the first time, and I don't want strategy and challenges. It's different when you got an out safe call, a fair foul call, and hit by pitch, catcher's interference. That's different. That's a challenge. You got to decide whether you want to challenge or not. But on a strike ball, it's there's 250 pitches a game in most games. Let it be automatic. I like the other system better, where it's right away. What do you guys think?
What does No, I think it's a needed it's a good thing. I think they need to test it more, but I do think it's an excellent advance. It's there, it's technology that works. One thing about the box I want to ask you though that we see on TV, is it where the ball crosses the plate or where the ball lands in the box?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what we see, I don't know what it is. There is a 3D one. I think Fox uses it more often in the World Series, where it's 3D and they show it and they spin around so you can see if it crosses the plate within that, 5-dimensional
right
situation. Not where the umpire.
Five dimensions. Wow, that's impressive. 5 dimensions. It's 3 dimensions, 5 points.
5 sides.
No,
What I will say is this: is what we see on an everyday basis on the games. That box is not accurate. It's more accurate than it's more accurate than we would get if we didn't have the box. But the box that they just showed would be a real box. And think about it: no pitcher, the shape of home plate. Everybody knows the shape of home plate. The front half of it is like the size of the pitching rubber, right? And the back half, it goes like this. Nobody's cutting it a curveball across the point at the back of home plate. That's just physically impossible, right? You can't spin it that much. So it's got to cross over home plate at that front half of the plate. In essence, home plate could just be a bar, like, other than having to touch it on a slide. That's a whole different story with the problems with that this year. But it's got to touch that front half of the plate. That's the rectangular front half of the plate for it to be a strike. And the technology exists to do it. We have a guy, Bay Meadows Bill, made a comment on the ABS system. Let's play what Bay Meadows Bill has.
Hi, guys. I joined late, so I don't know if this has already been discussed, but I had read articles last year with the ABS automatic ball strike system being used in AAA, and the articles I had read seemed to say the response had been positive. Did this change at any point? Or now people down there are against it since it's still being used in AAA, I believe? Thanks.
Last I heard, they're still happy with it. They mentioned something in one of the Yankee games a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so they're testing it in 2 ways. They're testing it both ways. At some of the affiliated leagues in AAA, they're doing the ABS challenge system. In one of the independent leagues, I don't remember which one it is, they're doing it's called every pitch by the by the robo ump. That's the way I would go with that, is the every pitch. But all the feedback has been positive. The thing I don't like about the challenge system also is, if you're the catcher and you've got to challenge it, your relationship with the umpire is going to be challenged, right? Yeah. You're questioning the umpire and the catcher umpire situation. And we saw that today, right? Wells got hit in the face 3 times. 3 times the home plate umpire walked the new baseball out to the pitcher on the mound so that Wells would have time to compose himself. If you get a bad relationship between a catcher and an umpire, that umpire is going to be like, screw that guy. Let's let him suffer back there. Let's get this game going. So, I don't want to put that pressure on the umpire-catcher relationship. I don't want to put it on the batter relationship either, for that matter. The batter shouldn't have to do it.
And once you get past those 3, they'll be like, doesn't matter. I'm going to call what I want now.
Right, exactly. So I like the robo ump idea. I've been pushing for it ever since the technology was there.
We've all been been lucky enough to all meet Mariano at an event, and he was very much. Somebody asked him about it, on the Q&A section, and they went straight, and he's very much against it. He's like, baseball's still
Girardi.
Well, Girardi wanted to put the umpire behind the pitcher, so that was an interesting take. But yeah.
So the thing about the umpire, the robo ump, to me is the robo ump won't care if the catcher sets up 4 inches off the plate on the outside of the plate and then pitches on the inside corner. The robo ump doesn't care about that. The home plate umpire that's back there now is going to see the catcher go from here to here and think, oh, that can't be a strike because it's way off of the target. So I like that. I think the strike zone should be the strike zone I mean, how could you have a scouting report on an umpire? The strike zone for each batter is the hollow of the back of the knee to the top of the belt buckle and over the plate. You can't have a scouting report that a guy's pitcher friendly, hitter friendly, higher, lower, in, out. That's ridiculous. I mean, granted, you know the scouting report and you have to play for it, but it's just stupid as far as I'm concerned. So
curious what the robo ump would do, right? Because in theory, it would line up with each player's knee and belt buckle.
And the depth.
Ricky Henderson, right? So you got to play like Ricky Henderson, who used to get that into that little area.
Well, they talk about the robo ump does it in two times. He takes it when the batter loads, when they take that first movement back. That's when the strike zone picture is taken. They take one at the beginning when the batter's in his stance, and then they take one when he loads. And that they use the one when he loads, which is usually on most batters, other than Ricky Henderson, it's usually a little bit lower on when you load because you're starting to load back. So it's an interesting thing.
Or Oscar Gamble.
I think we have some.
We got to get to stump the chumps.
We're almost done here, guys. So we got to get to our friends. We got to get
to the stump the chumps. So let's start with Frankie the Yankee. I'm sure I'm going to get this wrong. I haven't even read these because they all came in late. Hopefully they're listening. Hopefully they're still listening and can send us the answer.
I got the Google box here.
Right. Hey guys, this is Frankie's version of Name That Yankee. Not like the Yes one where it's a stellar career. Just the opposite. 12 years in the majors this player had. Orioles 1968 to 71. The Cubs 1972. The Orioles 73 to 76. Yankees 76 to 77. Orioles 78 and 79. Career 415 hits, 62 home runs. Two-time World Series champion. Name that Yankee.
Paul Blair.
I want to look at this because I missed the stats. So 12 years in the majors. Started with the Orioles, 68 to 71, then went to the Cubs in 72.
Who was Munson's back?
No, it wasn't Paul Blair. Blair was with the didn't go to the Cubs.
And then 73 to 76, it's got the spelling wrong. And then he was with the Yanks, 76, 77, back to the Orioles in 78 and 79, and then went to Korea. I have no idea. I was thinking it's not Rick Dempsey. He didn't go to the Cubs. He didn't play in the 60s.
He started with the Yankees, and then he went to the Orioles.
Yeah.
So, who was Munson's backup in like the World Series years, 78, 79?
Jerry Moses?
No, later. That was it was Dempsey to 76. Then it was Fran Healy.
Was it Healy?
I don't think Healy played for the Cubs.
No, Healy came from the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Really good question, Frankie. Will you give us an answer? Can you chime in? You pain in the
Frankie, chime in with an answer if you got it, because we have no freaking clue.
I can always try to get the answer.
I'm trying to get the answer. Oh, I have the answer. I think it's Elrod Hendricks. Yes.
Yeah, there it goes.
I was thinking about Elrod Hendricks in my head. I was thinking a lefty hitting catcher, but I couldn't get his name until I looked it up.
What a great question.
That was a great one, Frankie the Yankee. You stumped the chumps. Not that that's much of a hurdle.
We will be sending you an old hamburger. Be 3 or 4 weeks old, but it'll be in the mail to you.
No. Kramer's delivering.
Oh, yes. Kramer will be bringing.
And staying with you for a week. Here's Joe Osty's question.
All right, trivia for this week.
Is that the home?
Name the player who ran the bases backwards after hitting his 100th career home run. Name the team he played for and also the year.
I have no clue what the year is, but I think, what's the name of the guy that ran? He was the guy that climbed. He went crazy. He climbed the backstop one time. I forgot his name.
Pearsall.
Jimmy Pearsall.
Jimmy Pearsall.
I'm going to look that up. That's who I think it is.
He was with the Red Sox. I was going to say he was with the Red Sox.
No, he's with the White Sox.
No, Red Sox. Jimmy Pearsall. Maybe 1959.
1963. I just looked it up.
Wow,
Here we go. I gotta go to the video. I do find video for this. Oh, it's just
audio. Maybe they don't have TV. They didn't have ESPN back then.
When he hit home run number 100 in the major leagues, he was going to run the bases backwards, and he's doing it. Here goes Pearsall from third to home now, running the bases backwards. Hope the run down.
Very nice.
So Jimmy Pearsall did that. You see who the pitcher was? It was not on the Red Sox because he couldn't have been on the Red Sox at the time he did it in '63 because the pitcher was a right-hander for the Philadelphia Phillies named Dallas Green.
Oh, wow. So maybe you're right. He must have, I'm sure he was cut a few times. He was Meshuggah.
Meshuggah being
How about
being the operative word.
New York Mets?
What?
Oh, wow. Pearsall
Mets.
was a 62 Met. That's right.
But this is 63. This is 63.
He was one of their best players. What are you talking
backwards for the Mets. I didn't know he played for the Mets too.
He did that while he played for the Mets?
Yes. Wow. A veteran of his step to the plate for the New York Mets, facing Phillies pitcher Dallas Green to lead off the top of the fifth.
Wow.
All right.
He was on the New York Mets. Casey Stengel must have been thrilled as his manager.
Yes.
All right, so Frankie's got another one to stump the chump. So we weren't really stumped on that one. We got the name eventually, but the year we never would have gotten, and we certainly didn't get the team.
All right, we had 18 he was on.
Who was the first player to win a batting title, a Gold Glove, and a World Series championship, all in the same season?
Say it again. I missed it. What?
I'll play it again.
It's Bernie.
You think it's Bernie?
Hey guys, an easy one.
It's Bernie. I think I heard
Who was
this
the first
trivia.
player to win a batting title, a Gold Glove, and a World Series championship, all in the same season?
He didn't win a batting title.
Yeah.
I think it's Jeter.
I think a chat I was on. It was a Jeter? No, what the hell? I'm running to the wrong. A chat I was on had the same trivia question.
We're not even close. Oh wait, that's not true. Let's see.
Somebody asked this recently.
Well,
in 1988, Bernie Williams became the first player ever to win a batting title, Gold Glove Award, and World Series championship all in the same season.
Wow,
okay,
good job.
So good job, Rich. I'm impressed. I didn't think you could do that.
On a different chat I'm on, a Yankees chat I'm on. Somebody asked that like literally 2 days ago.
So the other thing that you should know is Mookie Betts is the only player in Major League history to win the MVP, Silver Slugger, Gold Glove batting title, and World Series in the same season.
That'll never happen again.
Yeah, it'll happen again.
Boys,
it's the Gold Glove. It's such a meaningful.
Boys, this is the end of our underdog show. I will say this: those other Coast to Coast Yankee guys are in trouble. We are reaching out to them. We were here first. They just started. We have our name trademarked, and we're going to get their butts with a cease and desist. Those other Coast to Coast Yankee guys are illegally using our name. We've been using our name. This is our 27th straight show, 27 weeks, more than 6 months. Those guys started in April 24, 2024. They're stealing our name, and it's trademarked. We need help. Everybody, cease and desist. Send them nasty letters. And that's how we're going to end the show tonight.
There are lawyers and accountants on this call. You will be prosecuted.
We're going to sick Kramer on them. That'll stop them. Kramer, we need you. Kramer, we need a cease and desist. Help us, Kramer. That's it, boys. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Nice all 8 of you.